Hey, Papercut here, back with another replay review. This time we have Zero Skills against Wooded Tunic. Zero Skills, reach out to me on my Discord, and he just wants me to look at these games against Wooded Tunic, who are his friend. His ask is pretty simple. Please give me the tip so I can finally beat my friend. These two play a lot of custom games together, and more often than not, Wooded Tunic is winning. So Zero Skills wants some tips to see how I can play better. Now, I looked through your history. I noticed you mostly played Biz. So you've played a couple China recently, but I'm going to do a Biz game because hypothetically that's the one you have more time on. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So the matchup against friends as Byzantine can be a little bit harrowing, mostly because I'm going to stop there for a second because there's some things I want to say, but it's going to be very defensive. You're going to open Grand Winery, and you want to ask yourself, where can I set up walls? Where can I kind of cut off his raid points? And what you're working towards is one, enough spears to be able to drop a tower to defend your goal, to defend the berries. Two, enough berries to start getting out your first set of mercenaries, which against French you could do longbows or you could do javelins, kind of preference there. And then you're just kind of working your way to getting as many longbows and spears as possible. And you have two options. You could just try to outproduce and outmass, which you could. You're adding farms, you're playing defensive. Your second option is you get enough that you think you can rush castle, and you put a tower on the gold and you try to rush castle. Now that can be difficult, especially if your gold is kind of out there. Your gold is kind of defensive. Your big issue is going to be your wood lines, actually. But if hypothetically you could like get a wall up from here to here, and then get a tower on the gold, and you're able to just defend the gold and rush castle, that's your best bet because you can start getting crossbows, which is what would really help you end up winning. But anyway, as Byzantine, I've beaten French players just by outmassing them, because eventually you start getting so much food you can add horsemen, and then with horsemen you can raid their food, and then you can do a little surround where your horsemen jump on his archers. He has to stop to defend his archers with his knights, and that's when your spearmen come in and slaughter his knights, but you have to keep producing lots of spearmen. And then your javelin throwers can, or longbows, whichever one you pick, can do work on that as well. If you do javelin throwers, you want to make sure they are always attacking as archers as possible, like shift clicking and right clicking. Longbows, the nice thing about longbows is they can do okay damage against knights, especially if you get like arrow upgrade and you really get a lot of them. Let's see how you do here. First, you're opening. Just make sure you don't have villagers standing here not doing anything, and reducing the amount of clicks you need to do at the very start. Here's what I suggest you do. Always start with town center, shoot as many villagers as you can. Box over your villagers and just have them all go to sheep immediately. Then click on your scout, put them on one, and then set them to the middle. Once the scout's in the middle, that's when you do the special stuff. So like you look and you think, where is the best spot for my cistern? Where can I get the most resources? And this first cistern is very important. You usually want the first cistern to shade berry drop off at least where the berry is being dropped off, as well as a secondary resource. So you have, since you have your wood and your berries right next to each other, I would probably have put the cistern like here. Why is that? Because the cistern would have still gotten the drop off to the Grand Winery, but the Grand Winery has a very small circle of influence, and you want to make sure you are always putting farms in that circle of influence, which would have been here. So you don't want the cistern where the farm is going to be, so you put it forward over here. You're still getting a lot of the wood, but still getting that berry drop off. So like anywhere from here to here would have been good for the first cistern, and the second cistern can be more on the goal focused. And that way you're not having that first villager stand there and not doing anything. It's small, but these small things add up. Second, for scouting pattern, I was just going center, side, back, drop off, back, over, add his space by the time he ages up, see what he's doing, finish, come back, drop off, and then you're scouting your opponent's base as much as possible. Be careful. If they're not doing anything, there we go. Good initial sheep. So whenever you're going to be playing a defensive against an aggressive civ, as you scout around your base, you need to immediately identify where you need a wall. So for example, a wall between this wood line and this wood line would be huge just as soon as you can do it, because you just don't want his knight to be able to slip in and get that. Second, a wall from like here to here would be really big. Once again, just so his knight can't just easily run in and hit your berries or your wood line. And that right there has protected a good chunk of your wood line just by doing those two walls right there. Then you could drop a tower right here on the side of the berries. Now these berries are really protected, as well as the farms you're going to set up here too. And as you get more and more spears, you can use a group to defend villagers as they drop a wall. This is pretty aggressive, but from here to here, here to here. And then same thing over here, you come over here, here to here, here to here, here to here, and boom. All of a sudden you have all of your walls set up, and that's super, super nice. But you do that in chunks. You don't try to do it all at once. You, like, what's the easiest wall to get up? And then as you get more spears, you can send 3 spears to defend him in case he's able to do like multiple knight groups would be the thing you're looking for. But the big stand defense is you keep using your resources. You have to be super resource efficient to just make sure you're not wasting resources or just holding on to resources. So again, this age up, my big issue is that you should only have 4 on food. And even on a cistern, you can kind of get away with doing 3 on food, and then you want the rest on wood. For gold, the thing I kind of do a lot is because I know I'm going to lose out on one of these resources. I'm either going to lose out on berries, I'm going to lose out on gold. I need berries as biz. So I will gather gold until they hit age up, and then I'll pull off gold. And hopefully that's enough gold to get like wheelbarrow, which is really important, and your spearman upgrade. So you want enough gold to get spearman upgrade and wheelbarrow. If you can't get enough gold, then you just do the spearman upgrade. And then you pull them off and put them on wood, because you need a lot of wood at first. You need a barracks, you need towers, you need walls. So yeah, you really want to make sure you're getting that a lot of wood early on. You flipped it over, okay, good. So he's going 2 TC. So what do you do about that? So you know he's going 2 TC. Here's what this means to you. It means that you're gonna have a lot of extra time, because it's gonna take him a while to get enough units to really push you. So if I see 2 TC, that actually means you could rush castle. You're gonna have the time to do it, because he has to get enough stone and wood to drop the second TC. Then he's gonna be making double villagers, and with French to make him even a little bit faster. So that's actually assigned to you. You should try to rush castle. So you should drop a tower on the bears like you're doing, then try to get a tower on the gold, and then get, like, as I said, the simple walls. And then you want to try to get a barracks down and make like a few spears just to be safe, but then you're just trying to rush castle as fast as possible. Get down a mercenary house as well, so that you're using the berries to make I would suggest either longbows or javelin throwers, and you're using those to kind of poke at the knights whenever they dive, and hopefully you can kind of get to castle by the time he feels like he can get enough units to push. And then you can just mass Vangarian Guard, and the Vangarian Guard will do okay against feudal knights. You're just trying to make sure his archers are nullified. And then you go crossbows and you push back. So when I see 2 TC as biz against French, my first thought is, oh, that's a castle rush for me. Like, I need to just rush castle. If you want to be super greedy, you could go Hippodrome and use your knights to kind of block out his gold. So, or use your horsemen to block out his gold, so he can't even get knights, and then the playing field evens, but that's very aggressive. Nice sheep. Why do we have 5 idle? Okay. So, beautiful. Love this tower, but just do a little wall here as well. Make it even more defensive. I actually like the placement of this barracks. It's away from where you want the farms to be. But see how this is too greedy of a cistern, and then this one doesn't really get you anything? It'd be better if the cistern is over here, then the second cistern is here, so it's getting the back farms and this gold, and the third cistern could be like here. Or here. Like, you just want to think about how much to really stretch the coverage of your cisterns. And already now at this point you have enough wood. Like at this point, you drop the 100 for the tower, you do 150 mercenary house, and then you need like 1 more house, and then you're rushing castle. Hell, you could have even ignored wheelbarrow. Though it's fine to get wheelbarrow, but you could have ignored wheelbarrow if you really wanted a hard rush castle here. But now these walls are now too greedy, because like I'd rather you do a wall that protects the resources you have right here, and then you just put a tower up here, and then you're good to go. Like if you had dropped the resources to get the tower from here to here, I mean the wall from here to here, I think that's more important of a wall, honestly. And then don't overproduce spears, basically. Yeah, longbows is fine. You need like 3 or 4, and then you just do longbows. And you should just be rallying to food at this point. I would do on cheap. I would only have like 6 on wood, and I'm serious. You're rushing. It looks like you're rushing castle, but I want you rushing even harder than this. I do love your continuous scouting is great. There's the archery range. There's another thing. If you can get the wall from here to here, then the tower can just be on the side of the gold right here, and you're sitting really pretty. It'll take a long time for him to run archers around the back and drop a ram and then push. But see how already like 6 on gold is really ambitious if you're not getting any upgrades. 10's not enough to rush castle. You have way too much wood. And you're missing your opportunity here. Like you're getting great berry, you're getting great olive oil, but that's not the point. You need to get to castle to get crossbows and Vangarians. That's what's going to win this game. Because then if you can just rush his TC of Vangarian guards, then he doesn't get any food, and then all of a sudden he's in a huge amount of trouble. You have to really, once you decide to like kind of rush castle against French, you have to really go for it, or else if they get enough knights, knights will hold up in feudal against castle. So I mean how if we had a wall from here to here even earlier, instead of doing this one, we had done this from here to here and then over, he would have to run or over and around, which would have bought you enough time to save that vill. But man, you should be clicking castle right now. And what I mean by that is you have like 11 spearmen. Imagine if you had 4. So you would have enough food at this point to go castle. Or if you didn't have as much wood and you had way more food. Like, since you have this much wood now, you really need to commit to dropping like 2 or 3 archery ranges right now, so that when you're hitting castle, you can immediately make crossbows, which should be your goal. The other options is you could go straight to cataphracts. That's really expensive, and he can just make spears and do okay. So look how much gold you have. It's taking too long. It's taking too long. Like, now he has the archers coming. You're gonna start feeling pressure. And you're still getting there at okay time, but you could have got there so much faster. All you needed was 3 spearmen in your first batch of longbows, and there's no way he's pushing you. Especially if you have a tower up on each key resource. You even finished the wall here. And now you're gonna throw away 3 villas for what? Like, what are you getting from that throw? We're gonna do pure Vangarian guards. Okay, that's fine. I would have liked 1 archery range for crossbows. Okay, we need to get an instant upgrade to veteran. So I would have deleted these 2 queues up, and I'd immediately gone in my second, and I've gone veteran contract. I like the immediate switch into Vangarian guards. But now you're on a timer, so he's on 2 TC, right? So he's getting eco. You're on 1, which with olive groves is still good, is really good. But you're on this timer now where you need to do damage. And you know where all his villagers are around this TC. So the key thing you should be doing is 3 things. 1, you're queuing up scholars to get relics, and you're just trying to get 3 relics or more. That's why you want to make sure you put gates up as you're building walls. So you can start and just do the thing where you queue it up and you hold shift and you click on the relic and click back, so they just grab it. And if you really don't think you have time to check again, just do click, 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 click. And that's ambitious. You'd want to queue up more than 1, right? But if you're like, I'm gonna be so focused on this fight, just have 1 monk do it and he'll get him eventually. Second, we just need to be so much more focused on food. Like, we need so much food. The second I'm aging up, I would have taken half my villagers off wood onto deer, and you need way more on gold. So I'd be rallying to gold right now. I'd have 18 to 20 on food, and then only 5 or 4 on wood, because I'm just going pure Vangarian. That's just food and gold. I only need a little bit of wood to keep adding production and maybe a farm here and there. But you're on this timer. I love the arrow defense upgrade. You want to get the second one as well, but you need to be pushing right now. Also, we need to rush up the longbow upgrade, because if you get enough longbows, they're gonna do great against everything he has right now. But he's rushing castle. He got there, and so and that's why you getting to castle faster is really important, because right now he's hit castle and you've hit castle and you're at 38 vills. He's at 72, which also tells me you've forgotten to make villagers at times. So always consistently making villagers is really key, but you've also lost vills. You've lost 7. So really you should be at 45. But even then, that feels like you maybe lost a villa here and there from on producing them. That's why if you're gonna fast castle against 2TC, you have to fast castle, because he got to eat all of this hunt. He got to be sitting on these berries. He's on this hunt over here. Like, he's just vacuuming food. And if you hit castle faster, got out a group of Vangarians, and even if you couldn't push the TC, if you could make sure he can't get on these berries, he can't get on this deer, he can't get on this boar, which he's just feasting on right now, he runs out of food and he dies. And then you just keep making units and you win. The key of the 2TC is that he got all this food for free. He shouldn't have felt that. He should have felt hitting castle before he felt like he could make enough units to defend. And then he has to drop towers, or he has to move off of this, and then he's trying to make farms, and it gets really ugly for him. So your slow castle is what is really leading you to losing this game. Also, make sure to keep adding lumber camps. And I know as Biz, you have this feeling of, man, I want to add farms. Like, I want to make sure I'm getting my farms up. It's not worth it. You have this opportunity against French to really like do damage here, and you weren't able to take it because of you're over gathering of wood and not focusing on food. And over making of units, to be honest. 2, you need to push now. Like, honestly, we should already be pushing. The fact that we are sitting here and waiting, you're on 39, he's on 26. So your one advantage, even with his better eco, is that you should be able to mass units better. And keep in mind, he's messing up his eco too. He has 2,000 food, he's not spending it. But you could have been doing damage just by sending your units forward right now. Instead, you're sitting here and waiting. And the thing about if you're on 1 TC and he's on 2 TC, the longer you wait, the worse it's getting for you. He has his biz, you have cisterns, and you have olive oil, so you're doing okay in comparison, but you got to go. Here's the thing, don't worry about this. Just send like your next wave of units to this, but these guys should be going out right now, and you see him, you see where he is. Like, imagine how the tenor of this game changes if you just sent, like, you see on the map, you didn't scout. That's why you gotta scout the full map. You gotta scout the full map. But the second you push out and you just look on the map and see where's the deer, where's the boar, and you just send you send chunks of units to go check that. Like, he's gonna get on this gold, and he should not be allowed to get on these things. Your army. This is like, once again, you're on this timer here, where you need to be doing damage right now, and you're not taking that opportunity. Well, look, he's pushing you. So now you feel like you have to react, and you're scouting well. You see where all his villagers are, but there's no movement to take advantage of that. Oh, we gotta go. This is it. This is it. No, you gotta push right now. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? So this is the issue I see a lot at this level, which I didn't see your rank. I don't even know if you really have a rank. I don't know if you play enough rank games to have a rank. You don't for this season, at least. But I can tell you're probably like, what? Gold, the plat level. We don't take advantage of our opportunities. And you just pushed him back. And you saw, those were all his units. He wasn't hiding them. And instead of immediately pushing back to try to take advantage of the openings you see with your scouting, you just waited. And it took so long. And once again, the longer you wait, the better he's going to get on 2 TC. So I would not pop Berserking against a ranged ball. And the reason being is he can kite you, and you're taking so much extra range damage. You want to pop Berserking against a melee mass, because then your Vanguards are just so much out damaging that melee mass, and they're not kiting you. But since the range is kiting you, your Vanguards are just dying. Just getting pummeled. You're producing well, though. Your key is that you have to keep spending, like keep queuing up more mercenaries, keep queuing, because you have to. But the biggest thing you're missing is you're not checking resources. Like, look, he's on gold, food. If you're playing against a French player, they have to be on food and gold, even if he's massing arbitraire. He's just doing pure arbitraire right now. Like, you have this huge opening right now to go do damage, and just look at the map and ask where could he be? He has to be on gold, right? He's burned through his initial gold, so he has to be on these side golds. Boom, check this gold. I would have taken a group of Hungarians and just shift clicked here, 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 and then here, just to see if I can catch him on a gold. Because if he gets pushed off gold, he's in really bad news. And the thing is, he's saved a bunch of resources, but he's not spending them very well. Well, the advantage you're having right now is you're actually spending your resources, which is really positive. Instead, we're gonna sit here and try to push this, which is like not a great use of your time, actually. I think he just clicked him. Yep. Yep. Now you really can't push this. Your eco's just so far behind. Not as much as I thought, actually. But he was able to bank up so many resources before your eco got put online, so you're still at a resource deficit. But he's just sitting on gold right now. The biggest issue, he's just sitting on resources. And you're not actually stopping him. And you can't get anywhere near that red tower without siege. I'm gonna grab the rest of the relics. That's a way to catch up. Also, at any point in time, you could have added a second T yourself. Like, I feel like a lot of times people get stuck on this idea, if you don't do second TC from the jump, you never go second TC again. Also, make sure you finish the wall. That's kind of bull. Like, especially with your passive stone, at any point in time, you could go a second TC and try to catch up on bills. It's very common actually for high-level Biz players in Castle to drop a second TC just to get more eco. It's fine to do. Also, it's less of a burden. Like, dropping a TC in Feudal is a lot because you have so few villagers, so it's a huge resource pause, but at, you know, 60, 70, 80 villagers, it's actually not that hard to drop a second TC. Now I'm just gonna get imp upgrades and walk over you. You know, once again, you're great at producing units. You're outproducing him constantly. You're just not pushing him off resources. And you're taking this fight under the Red Palace. Like, that's just asking to lose all your units. And you really needed to rush imp at this point. Like, you need to get to imp yesterday. Yeah. Like, where are we going? Guess where he's on? The resources. Gold. He's gonna have to go to one of these golds soon. Like, if at any point you just cut off resources, you'd be great. Two, yes, he's on these farms back here, but this is why you do raids. Just small groups of units. You know he set up farms in the back, so just take a smaller group and go shift, A move. Take this next group of mercenaries. Shift, A move, A move. So they just like run through the back. Here he has no walls. So at any point in time, a group of 3 to 4 Vangarians, 4 to 5 horsemen, 2 to 3 cataphracts, 2 or 3 Lanctionists could just walk through back there and just do damage. That'd be honestly really crippling to him because his Red Palace doesn't cover his farms. So he's wide open here. Like, he has so many possibilities. You got zoned in on attacking just this spot. Okay, that's game. So overall, your game plan was correct technically. You fast castled when you saw 2 TC. For Biz, that's good for you because you can produce so quickly and your eco's pretty good. But you fast castled too slow. When you actually got out of your base, you didn't immediately go check resources and try to raid him off resources around the map, which on 2 TC he's very resource hungry. 3, once you did outproduce him and move in, you didn't once again check resources or attack anything outside of like the main thing. And then once he imped, you really need to go imp yourself. Unless you've done a lot of eco damage, which you hadn't really done at that point. And yeah, keep scouting. You were actually scouting pretty well all the way into like the 15-minute mark, and then I think your scout died and you never checked again. But like, if they're getting to late castle imp, he has to have farms up somewhere. If he puts up no walls, that's really easy raiding. Overall, I hope this review was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know on the Discord, and good luck on your games.